Alright, we have yet a new patch dropping on Honkai Star Rail, and with it comes new characters. In Phase 1, we are getting a new Lolly follow-up DPS character coming out. Move aside, Clara, because taking your place is Yunli. Today we're going to go over her kit, which build sets are going to work, and finally, team comps for her. So let's bring out the pain and start the show. Unlike most characters' kits, for Yunli we need to start with her talent, Flash Forge. Whenever Yunli is hit by an attack, she will generate 15 energy and launch a counter, dealing 120% physical damage of her attack to the attacker and 60% of her attack to adjacent enemies. And if there is no immediate target, then she will counter a random enemy. Once you do build up your energy, you can launch her ultimate, Earthbound Ether Break, which is the main piece of her kit. Upon activation, you will gain parry and taunt all enemies, lasting until either the allies' turn ends or when the enemy's turn ends. Your following counter after activation, crit damage, will increase by 100%. Then, if you tried to counter via the talent, you will launch the counter Cole instead and remove the parry effect. If you manage not to trigger the counter after using your ultimate and having parry, Yunli will then launch her counter Slash instead. The difference between the two different counters is the Slash will deal 220% of her attack to a single target and 110% of the attack to adjacent targets, while the Cole will not only be doing the same damage, but deal 6 instances of damage equal to 72% of Yunli's attack to a random enemy. And for each counter after launching the ultimate, that counter damage is considered as ultimate damage. Now, while Yunli does dish out a bunch of damage as you see, and follow-up attacks leading credence to her being a viable option on the follow-up attack team, she also provides healing for herself with her skill, Bladeborn Quake. As along with dealing AoE damage, it also provides healing for Yunli as it heals 30% of Yunli's attack plus 200. Overall, from how she works, she is capable of being run as a solo hypercarry DPS type of unit, while also having a great damage output capability that she can be run as a sub DPS style unit. Much like other DPS characters, your relic option should be focused on increasing your overall damage output to really get the most out of your damage dealing unit. So saying that, I believe a few sets really stand out. The Wind Soaring Valorous set grants 12% attack boost, which is good as all of Yunli's damage scales from that stat, while at 4 pieces, your crit rate increases by 6%, and when you are hit, your ultimate damage rises dramatically, which is good because after launching the ultimate, your counter damage is viewed as ultimate damage. Next is the Longevous Disciple set. Granting 12% HP increase at 2 pieces is important as Yunli is going to be a subject towards constant attacks, but at 4 pieces says whenever you lose HP by attacks, your crit rate will increase by 8% for 2 turns, stacking 2 times. Finally, we have the Champion of Streetwise Boxing, increasing physical damage by 10%, and at 4 pieces, attack will be increased by 5%, stacking 5 times, whenever you are hit during the entirety of the battle. Jumping over to the Ornaments sets, the first set that jumps out is the Duran Dynasty of Running Wolves. Whenever Yunli performs a follow-up attack or counter, you gain 1 stack of merit, stacking 5 times, and for each stack, you get 5% increase to your follow-up attacks, and once you do hit 5 stacks, you receive a 25% crit damage boost. Next is the Seonia the Unchained Desolation, which provides 4% crit rate, and whenever you defeat an enemy, your crit damage increases by 4%, stacking 10 times. And of course, you have other good staple ornament sets, but I believe in terms you get out of the kit, these two are probably the best. For Lightcones, the signature is obviously going to be the best, making the wearer more likely to get hit, while also providing crit damage boost and providing Fire Dance after using the ultimate. For each stack of Fire Dance, your follow-up attacks are increased for 2 turns. A very good replacement would actually be Clara's Lightcone, as it provides plenty of damage, heals the wearer after a kill or when you get hit, and increases the wearer's damage until their next turn, which is fantastic for counter units. You can run the Herdershop Lightcone, However, compared to the previous two options, I don't think it is as good. Runnable, but overall just not as good. In terms of 4-star options, Nowhere to Run is good, providing an attack boost and a little bit of healing. For teams, you can put Yunli on the follow-up attack team paired with Aventurine, as while dishing out all your counters, it allows Aventurine to continue providing shield at a much faster rate, and paired with Topaz, Numby will be pushed forward constantly. For a hyper carry setup, I believe that Sparkle would be ideal for a support unit as she provides so many buffs that Yunli can exploit, and having Huahua I think would be a top tier partner with the healing she provides, but also the attack boost and getting Yunli's ultimate out fast, that she can be that hyper carry. Overall, while I do think the 2.4 patch is very lackluster, in terms of actual character design, I do believe Yunli is very strong and a capable unit. Now, whether she continues on the rise in future patches is yet to be seen, as we know with counter-attacking units, they're not that great as time progresses. However, with how much damage and overall how she dishes out the damage in contrast to other units, I do think that Yunli can be sustainable for a couple patches to come.